Hey, it's John Nemo. I want to take you behind the scenes of our done for you LinkedIn lead generation services, our LinkedIn Authority Advantage program. I want you to see from a client point of view how all this works, what's required of you, what the outcomes look like, what you can expect, how the sausage is made, all that good stuff. So let's start on my favorite page ever, our testimonials page. I love going through these. It gets me so fired up when we celebrate every single Friday wins that clients get. Whether it's firing us because they got too many leads, like Catherine did, greatest problem ever. Too many leads, turn it off. Bob making six figures in sales as a result of working with us. Jeremy, who does investing, raised seven figures in capital. Wes, who's a franchise consultant, within 2 weeks of working with us, got a $96,000 sale. We helped a consultant and coach, Robert Hernandez, raise his rates 300%. So on and on. There's so many good outcomes from our done for you clients, and I'll let you go through that on your own time. Like, it may scroll forever. We've got so many great stories. So I want to explain to you how all this works. So with our done for you services, basically where it starts is we interview you. Our team meets, and let me explain this. You get an army. So this is a look at behind the scenes. One of our clients, Anne-Marie Weaver, who is a franchise consultant, you literally get all these different people. So let me get out a drawing tool. You get a small army working for you of 4 to 6 people. So you've got our, VP of client strategy and client services, graphic designer, project manager, VP of operations. We've got a data entry person to help us. I'm in a lot of the projects still. Copywriters, marketing strategists, more project managers. All of us are working for you. So you're basically outsourcing your marketing, your lead generation, your content creation, your design, all of it to us. We're doing it all for you. Okay. And so we manage your whole project in a tool called Basecamp. And it's a very simple process. We basically just need an hour or two of your time at the beginning. And then the rest of it, we do all the work for you. We go out, we qualify the leads on LinkedIn, and you just close them. You make the sale. So step one is we obviously do a deep dive on you, your personality, your story. We interview you. We read all your content. We go behind the scenes. We look at your website. We analyze everything. And then we come up with, let me actually show you, we come up with a full marketing plan. So let me get to that. This is our little dinner menu of services. So we actually do a complete custom marketing plan. So a custom LinkedIn sales funnel, marketing plan based on what we think of you. We also do a custom branding package all about you, how we think you fit in your marketplace, what makes you unique, different, and better, all of that stuff. Okay. And then we're going to rewrite and optimize your profile. I know everyone says that, but we do a very specific approach to it, making it client facing, really helping you stand out from the crowd, right? Really figuring out what makes you unique, different, and better, and then using that as a way to kind of help differentiate you and separate you from the competition. So we take a very specific approach to your LinkedIn profile, optimizing it, personalizing it, putting in a new banner, and then we use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So we have you sign up for that, and we basically go in here and we build lists of leads for you to use with your personal profile. All of our prospecting is done using your personal profile page. It's not a company page. It's not off somewhere out in the wild blue yonder. It's your personal page. And that way you get to keep all the leads. You get to keep all the conversations. It's a much easier and faster way. It's one-on-one outreach. We next go in, we build all these lists of thousands and thousands and thousands of your ideal prospects who are like the pitch perfect exact type of lead you'd want to talk to on LinkedIn. And then once we have your profile done and your lists done, now we need something of value to go out and start conversations with. And that's where we create done for you content. Now, our biggest, most popular type of content that works the best is ebooks. So this is where we literally interview you and custom write an ebook all about you. So this is one of our clients, Carrie Ann Golliver. It's her whole backstory, and we do it very much with, dramatic writing and storytelling. So let me get out my underlining tool so you can see the quality. Like, I just figured my brother-in-law had too much wine during dinner. Instead, he blurted out a phrase that changed my life. Whoa, what's going on here, right? This isn't your typical ebook of, here are 5 tips to choosing a franchise, right? It's a story, right? It's a story. It's going to be your journey, where you've been, tales from the trenches. In this case with Carrie Ann, they started a handyman franchise by accident. got acquired by Ace Hardware. She now works as a franchise consultant. So again, these ebooks are designed to really tell your story, help people get to know, like, and trust you, and then also demonstrate your expertise. So you can see we do them in tons of different industries, tons of different niches. This is for a consultant, who helps organizations with, implementing change. And again, her story, she started out early on. The day she arrived, she had hearing issues, right? So literally, we took the story and the hook about her journey in life with hearing problems. She became a great consultant because she had to learn at an early age how to listen really, really well, right? So her whole, beginning of her story was listening, and then how that developed into this incredible business she has as a consultant, working with some of the biggest brands on the planet, sharing her expertise, sharing her insight, how to successfully implement change in organizations. So all of these are different. It just depends on you, your unique situation, what you've learned, what you've been through, right? So here's a great intro to one. My career started with a lie. Whoa, like what happened? I was 17 years old, ... right? Don't you want to know? Don't you want to read more? So again, depending on what your story is, what your journey is, we're going to, be able to not only write a ebook, but also design one to really help you. And you can see all the different niches we've done this in, from financial services to real estate to, luxury home building, air cooling, insurance, on and on, law firms, leadership, sales, executive presence, franchise consultants. Great examples. This one is a great example where Cindy told us she had multiple people switch from competitors to her simply because of her ebook, simply because they related to Cindy more. Because again, her story starts with her reinventing herself in her, midlife, going, I'm going to take up skydiving. Why not? Right? Like, her whole thing is, I'm going to show you how I've reinvented myself in my career multiple times, how I now help people do that as a franchise consultant. Remember, the power of these ebooks is your story helps you resonate with people. They're going to be attracted to you, to your story. That's what makes you unique, different, and better than everyone else, is, your story, your journey. So ebooks work incredibly well for that. Now, we do all kinds of content. So let me go back up to the top. We also can do, done for you. Let me get my drawing tool here. We can do done for you podcasts, done for you webinars, done for you online courses. We write books. So if you want us to write a whole book for you, right, we can do all that. It just depends on what you need. Everything we build is custom. So it's not a one size fits all done for you program. We're basically going to say, yeah, we're going to probably have everyone do the LinkedIn, authority advantage elements, like the strategy plan, the branding, the profile, company page, whatever else, the list building. But then as far as the content goes, for most clients, ebooks are fantastic. They work great. Other clients are like, no, I want to do a podcast. I want to do a webinar. I want to do an online course. I want to write a full book. Now, most of these ebooks are anywhere from 3,000 to 6,000 words, fully designed. We're going to use real images of you, right, to tell your story, your journey, what you've been through, expertise, insights. Others, can be longer. Others can be a full book, and we'll market it on Amazon. It just depends on what you want. So everything will be custom built. Again, inside your project, we'll manage everything with to-do lists, docs and files, message boards, so you don't miss anything, and then you have this army working behind the scenes for you. So basically what we do is we take your personal profile, we build these lists on Sales Navigator of all your ideal prospects. We have one really good piece of content that we build for you, typically an ebook, and then we start reaching out to all these prospects one-on-one. And again, as you've heard me say, until I'm going to be blue in the face and my larynx falls out, the money on LinkedIn is in the mailbox. It's all in one-on-one outreach, one-on-one messaging. You don't have to worry about all the other what ifs. Well, what about the LinkedIn newsfeed? And what about LinkedIn videos? And what about LinkedIn articles? And what about LinkedIn status updates? All of that is fine. It doesn't hurt you, but it's not going to move the needle. If your goal in using LinkedIn is to get business, to get people to hand you money, to make 5- and 6-figure sales, all you need to really worry about, and what we really worry about, is the one-on-one messaging. That's where I would say 98% of the leads that we get for you are going to come from. So again, we're going to take your personal profile, one-on-one messaging. We're going to reach out to hundreds of prospects every single day. We're going to go far and wide, and what we're going to do is qualify people with your content. So we're going to start by asking them, hey, would you be interested in my best tips on blank? If they say yes, we're going to give them this free piece of content, this, typically a free ebook, because think about it. If somebody reads a 3,000 to 6,000 word book about you, about your journey, about your life, and how you help someone just like your prospect solve these problems where you're demonstrating your expertise, they are a very, very good prospect. Because now, if they read all this content about you and they want to learn more, then we're going to book them onto your calendar. You're going to have a phone call, or we can qualify them even further. The other thing we do behind the scenes to help track it all is we literally aggregate and track every single LinkedIn conversation. So I know this looks insane, it looks overwhelming, but literally every single person that we get to engage with your profile on LinkedIn, again, we're sending all these one-on-one messages. Anytime someone replies, we're tracking it. We're saying, okay, this person replied, here's what the message they replied to, here's, the follow-up that we did, because remember, the fortune is in the follow-up. So we're not just going to immediately spam people on LinkedIn and say, hey, do you want to book a call? Do you want to book a call? Do you want to book a call? We want them going through some content first. So whether it's your ebook, a webinar, some podcast episodes, we want to follow up with them first and say, hey, would you like these free tips? If they say yes, we're going to follow up with them until they read it, until they say, yeah, I loved the ebook. And then we'll say, great, what resonated? Wow, the part about how you help people do ABC. Oh, is that an area you're struggling in? Because we can help you with that. We can, would you like to meet live and I can give you an evaluation of how I might be able to help you with XYZ? Yes, okay. And then that's how we really warm people up through conversations to make sure they're a good fit for you. Obviously, we know the people on this list are a good fit because we've made LinkedIn lists based on job titles and industry and their role. So we know in theory, on paper, they should be a good client for you. But where we go further is we qualify them with content and we follow up until we either get, yes, I read your content, I absorbed your content, I love it, and I have a need, and I want to talk to you, or not right now, circle back after tax season, we'll make a note in here to circle back on a certain date, and we'll go back. Like, this is a great example. This client, Wes, Barefoot, actually, I'll pull up his profile. He's a great example where his first client from us, he got a $96,000 client 2 weeks after starting. He made another sale 2 years into working with us. So we follow leads for Wes for years, like plural, right? So we don't let any leads slip through the cracks. Obviously with LinkedIn, we all want quick wins. You'll get quick wins. You'll get sales. You'll get 5- and 6-figure clients. But also you'll follow up with people. We will do it for you because we know the long game works so well. So again, we'll follow up. We'll be personalized too. So we'll say to someone, hey, here's a free copy of my ebook. We'll wait a couple days. We'll say, hey, did you have a chance to dive into the ebook? No, I'm going to get to it on Monday. We'll say, oh, great. Okay, well, we'll circle up on Monday. We'll follow up with you and say, hey, did you have a chance to look at my ebook over the weekend? Or did Netflix get in the way? Ha, 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 right? So we'll find creative, fun ways that fit your personality to follow up until someone says, yes, I want to talk, I want to learn more, I read the book, I'm super excited. And what we typically see that translate to, everyone's always going to ask, how many calls a week am I going to get, right? How many qualified leads? I would say anywhere from 2 to 4 hyper-qualified people a week on your calendar, meaning they fit your exact ideal criteria in terms of job title, on paper, they check all the boxes for a good lead, and they've read a 3,000 to 6,000 word book about you, and they said they have a need and they want to talk to you. So you can expect 2 to 4 of those types of leads per week. And then what we do when we book them onto your calendar, we track all the calls. So every single person you have a call with, we have a drop-down menu where we can say, they weren't qualified, they're in process, I closed a deal, they didn't show up, they're on hold, they filled out a form, I took them to this stage or that stage, right? Whatever it might be, we don't want to miss a thing. So we do all this tracking to follow up with them. We take notes. You as the client can come in and share notes and say, hey, I had a call, it went really good. They're looking into it. I'm going to, respond on this date, that date. If we need to do any follow-up, if they don't show up, whatever, we'll come back to them and we'll track every single call. And that's really where we get all this different data and these dashboards so we can see like what's working, what's not working, what messaging is working the best. Are you adding a lot of people? So it really is a very detailed process. It's simple in terms of what you actually do as far as client-facing profile, one good piece of content, one-on-one messaging, and nurturing until we get a call booked with a qualified person. It's simple, but it's not easy, right? It takes a ton of time. It takes a ton of nuance. It takes a ton of customization because you can't just spam people with generic messages, and you have to ask permission, right? You don't want to be annoying. You don't want to be spammy. So that's why we've got a very specific method to the madness in terms of how we do this. And again, everything we do for you is going to be built from kind of this dinner menu. So the next easiest step, if you haven't already, on our website at the bottom of the page, or you might see a link with this video, just fill out this type form. That's, there's a little video here of yours truly explaining the process a little bit more. And then you just click start, and then you just fill out this form, right? You just tell us what type of work you do, who you work with, who you're trying to target. And again, most of it's multiple choice, fill in the blank. It's not going to take you super long, so I'll just say test, right? You'll go through, you'll share things. That way we can get a good idea of your unique situation, where you are, what you're trying to do, to make sure we can help you, right? So based on this form, we will follow up with you. We'll circle back to you and say, hey, you look like a great fit. You look like a good fit for our Done For You. Let's have a call. Let's go deeper. Let's explore things more. Or we might say, hey, based on what you said, you would be better served with, a specific online course of ours. Or actually, based on what you said, these free tips might be more helpful at this point. We actually have a live training. You said you needed on this or whatever. So we're not going to waste your time if we don't think we can help you. But the simple thing is we just need to start the conversation and learn more about your situation. And by the way, we're going to do the same thing for your prospects. We're not going to clutter up your calendar with tire kickers and unqualified people. We want hyper-qualified leads that are warmed up, that are bought in, that have literally read a book about you before they talk to you live. And that's why when I go to my favorite page on earth, which is our testimonials, that's why we're able to get results like this. Because when we follow this process, and as long as you're good at closing the leads we provide, that's the key, right? We don't do the selling for you. Now, if you need help, if you're like, I'm not good at sales, I don't know what to charge, we'll come in and help you. That's where we do this whole 7 agencies in one thing. So let me explain that as well before we finish up here. We will help you in other areas of your business if you need it. So if you say, listen, I really need help with my pricing and my offers and how to structure things, or I need help with my branding, or I really want to focus on getting on podcasts, whatever it is, we will provide all of that. We're a full service agency. Our goal is to put you in a position to succeed. You still have to close the leads and close the deals. We'll get all the leads for you, but we'll also help you with other areas of your business, pricing, branding, offers, structures, all of that. So again, without further ado, that's a good look behind the scenes of how these projects work, what goes into it, the level of detail, the level of attention, the level of tracking. Because again, what we found is you win with the long game. And that's why we've had clients with us for multiple years that make sales like 2 years later to a certain prospect. I love Wes as a good story because 2 weeks in, the guy makes a sale for $96,000. 2 years later, he makes another sale, right? Not that it went that long between sales, but the idea being quick wins and the long game. So if you're interested in all that, I know this video got very long, but I wanted to give you an in-depth kind of walkthrough. And again, if you're curious, you want to learn more, just fill out this type form. That'll start the conversation. We'll get back to you either way and go from there.